Hey retro lovers, welcome to the Nostalgia Junkies podcast, where we talk all about pop culture, retro toy collecting, and nostalgia. And now, here are your Nostalgia Junkies.
So I'm Alex.
I'm Joe.
And this is Nostalgia Junkies. It's good to have you back, man. Like, how does it feel like coming back here? Like, I know, like, I'm excited to have you back. You've been one of my like best friends since high school, middle school.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in everything from 90s to 2000s, and now we're nerding out in the 2020s.
It's crazy. And you have like this nice studio now. Everything looks great. You know, I'm loving it. We've definitely gone back for a long time. Definitely have history.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, doing your thing, man.
You just had a birthday yesterday.
I did. Big 3-0.
Big 3-0. Welcome to the 30 Club.
I know it's weird. Very weird.
What, 30 years old, 4 different decades, right? Because the 90s, 1000s, 2010s, and 2020s.
See, that's some stuff I haven't even thought about yet.
2 millennia, 4 decades, entering your 30s. Feels good.
I feel older now. Mad old.
So I have some new Nintendo news. At this point, it's probably been broken for a few weeks now, but
Yep.
I mentioned it to you, and I think this is the first that you heard of it. Charles Martinet is stepping down as the voice of Mario.
How long has he been the voice Mario?
Since Mario had a voice. He was the original voice of Mario in the game. So when we heard "It's-a me, Mario" in Super Mario 64,
Mario.
that was him. And he has been the voice of Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi. Basically, if it's been a voice in a video game, it's been Mario. It's been Charles Martinet.
So he's done all of them, like Toad,
Yeah.
Bowser, all those.
Yeah. I don't know if he's done Bowser and Donkey Kong. I don't know if there was someone different, but I know that he was Wario, Waluigi, Mario, Waluigi. He's been like the whole
cast.
Italian family.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know who the voice of Mario was. I think nowadays kids assume Mario
Chris Pratt
is Chris Pratt, and then you have Charlie Day as Luigi.
Exactly.
But when you said the name, I was like, who's that? Who's stepping down from Nintendo?
Mm-hmm.
But he's had a long career, and what was that, like 30 years possibly?
Yeah, going on 30 years. I want to say that was 1998 that Super Mario 64 came out.
Okay, so like 25 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's a long time. So
yeah.
So what is he going into now? Is he just done completely? Or?
So his new title, and I'm still interested to see like what it's going to be, is Nintendo Ambassador for North America.
That does make sense. He's been there for 25 years. I think maybe, you know, they recognize, hey, quarter of a century you've been the voice of Mario, you know, one of our biggest selling franchise players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's a corporate position and, you know, a thank you. I think that's something that he deserves.
I agree. And I like the fact that they're keeping him around. They just had him go to some, I think he went to PAX East or PAX West, whatever just happened.
Okay.
And he did like meet and greets. And I think that's cool. The one thing I'm hoping they don't do with the games is use archive footage or archive vocal work.
So like stuff from before, or touch bases on that a little bit.
So like, you know, when you hear Mario go, "Wahoo, it's-a me." Yeah. I'm hoping that they're not just going to like copy and paste the sound bites from Super Mario 64 or Galaxy or Super Mario Sunshine and put them into the new games and not pay him his work. Like if you're going to have Charles Martinet's voice, even if he's not freshly recording, I think he should be paid like the equivalent of royalties on a sound.
I think Nintendo probably would give him royalties at that point.
I would hope so. But, you know, I'm thinking big corporate, worst case scenario. What's Nintendo going to do? Are they going to use Chris Pratt's voice? I mean, the April Fool's video that they did was hysterical, where it was Chris Pratt's voice as Mario and Charlie Day as Luigi.
I don't think I've heard that. I've heard rumors that there's a mode in the new games where you can switch it to Charlie Day and Chris Pratt. I don't know how real that is, but I really would love to see that.
So the one that I saw that you could switch the modes, it was an April Fool's video. It was done very, very well, but it was like sound. It was sound bites from "It's Always Sunny." Like
It was.
It's totally not going to be Charlie doing, oh shit, like in Luigi's Mansion.
Green Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that they pay Charles Martinet his due diligence, or are we going to get a new voice of Mario?
I think you're going to get a new voice of Mario. I think you're going to have, I feel like they may already have the person they really want to be Mario.
And I'm hoping it's not Chris Pratt in the games.
Unless I don't think it's Chris Pratt at all.
The only way I would be fine with like Chris Pratt doing the voice of Mario in the video games is if they are now going to actually go to like full on like narration in the games and have sound clips opposed to just like effects.
See, I think it would be a nice little Easter egg, like a nice little mode to have in, but I don't see Chris Pratt or Charlie Day being like heavily involved in the Mario things, like from a video game aspect. I think from the movies, you have to keep it going. That movie was pretty good, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
It was amazing.
I loved the movie. I was like, this movie's gonna be, I don't understand it really. I understand Mario, but I don't see how it's like how they're gonna get to this mystical world. But then you realize it's a cartoon and they go down pipes and shit like that. So
which, you know, I was very vocal on the podcast about how I was not excited for Chris Pratt to be Mario. I was not excited for this movie. I loved it. The movie was great. I loved all the little Easter eggs. I think they did a really good job tying in obscure Nintendo properties through sound clips.
I agree.
Or even like when the pipe burst and there was the hole in the wall. The hole in the wall was the 8-bit Mario head. And that was the coolest thing. Like they had some really subtle stuff that's like, hey, these are for super fans. But then they also had, hey, we're going to slap you in the face with this Easter egg. It's Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's walking into a mansion, and here's the theme.
I thought, from someone who doesn't know all the small little Easter eggs, I thought the movie went really well. And it's definitely, probably, in my opinion, top 5 or top 10 movies. Because it came out this year, right?
Yep. I want to say it was in March
or April, right?
It had to be. Either
March way, within the past year, I think it's top 10 movie.
No, I agree. I would put Mario up there, and I just watched the Mutant Mayhem movie. And as someone who's not a huge Ninja Turtles fan, while it was a big like deviation from what our original Ninja Turtles were, whether it's the 1989 cartoon or the TMNT movies, it was definitely it was a well done movie.
The story looks really good. I haven't seen it. I love the cast that I saw. You know, you got Ice Cube in there. I think that's great. You have a couple of people here and there, little small time actors. But I'm excited for the overall story. Some of the turtles, I don't have any idea who they are. You know, I know the Michelangelo, Raphael. I know who they are,
but you don't know.
I don't really care about them. But the trailers had me invested in the characters for sure.
See, I've always been a villain guy. I've always loved the villains for the Turtles.
Like I know Shredder,
Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. Those are always like, that's what drew me to Turtles. But I was watching the movie the past week. I'm not going to give you any spoilers.
Oh,
but
thank you. I'm really invested in that movie. It looks really good.
All I know is I was watching it. I texted Brian about 40 minutes in. I'm like, they ruined my boy Splinter. Like, why did they do this to him? And he didn't respond. And I texted him like 20 minutes later. I take back everything I said. Splinter's amazing. You mentioned about how you could see Nintendo and like Illumination really doing something with the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes, I can see it being a trilogy, maybe like a 6-part movie or something like that. I can see something. It's a cash grab. You gotta capitalize on that.
So Nintendo has a lot of IP that has movie quality.
Yeah.
So I know there was the Netflix had rumored Legend of Zelda series last year.
Yes, they did.
There's a new rumor that has leaked over the past couple weeks. A Star Fox movie.
So I've seen pieces of like, articles saying like, hey, Star Fox is going to get a live action, things like that. To be honest, I don't know anything about Star Fox or anything like that. I don't know the story, the whole background behind it.
Picture Star Wars with animals.
Well, all I know, he's a great character in Smash.
Yeah, Star Fox is amazing. Falco Lombardi is one of my favorite Smash characters to play as. I'm not good as him. I don't think he's a great character to play as.
He looks great.
He's freaking awesome.
He looks so cool. Yeah,
exactly.
Like as a kid, you're like, yo, who is this Foxman or this Falco?
Exactly.
Who is
Super
this?
Smash Brothers Melee? When they let you play as Falco, dude, nobody wanted to play as Fox anymore. Forget Fox. Falco was where it was at.
Yes.
But there's been a rumored actor that's been attached to play Fox McCloud.
Wait, who?
Chris Hemsworth has been rumored to play Fox McCloud. How would you feel? So we already have Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth in the MCU together.
Yeah.
What about a Super Smash Brothers movie with Chris Pratt Mario and Chris Hemsworth Fox McCloud?
It's not the worst idea, but I feel like there's someone better who could possibly do it. I don't have anyone at the top of my head.
So,
but it's not the worst idea, I guess.
I'm going to put my foot in my mouth, and I feel like I've done this ever since I badmouthed Chris Pratt as Mario. Chris Pratt does not have a voice acting range. He does the same voice, but his acting range and his depth of character is so good that it carries through his voice. And I feel like he can actually do that range of emotion with just his voice. Because if you watch the Lego movie or you watch Mario, the voice that he uses for Emmett and the voice that he uses for Mario are exactly the same. There's no difference. Are we going to get the same thing with Chris Hemsworth with his voice for Thor? His voice in, was it Red October with Josh Peck? And then his voice is Fox McCloud if he plays Fox McCloud.
See, now I'm putting my foot in my mouth. Chris Pratt was someone people weren't excited about for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
But when he started listing off all those movies, I think Chris Hemsworth could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out. Because recently I watched Bad Times at the El Royale.
Okay.
And he plays a villain in there. And he has that, calm demeanor. He plays this cult leader and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw him for the first time, I was like, okay, this is a great villain, yada, yada, yada. And then Susan was like, that's Chris Hemsworth, Thor, right? And I was like, oh, snap. But I think he is really good at his range of actors. Like, when I see him, I think of the silly, goofy guy. But in the El Royale, that man was a menace.
Okay.
And I can see it. He has a good range. I think he can do it.
So I haven't seen that movie, but there was a movie that came out on Netflix with Miles Teller where they're like in a prison. He runs the prison. He's doing all this genetic testing. And it was like the same way. You could play goofy, but also at a flip of a switch be menacing. My thing is, do we need an Australian voiced Fox, or can Chris Hemsworth do a convincing American accent?
He can do a convincing American accent.
Or English. Well, yeah, American.
Watch Bad Times at the El Royale. He comes in very late, but he steals the show, and he doesn't have that Australian accent. He kind of has that nice, calm, suave cult leader thing going on. Okay. And he doesn't sound Australian, in my opinion. Some people hear Chris Hemsworth's voice and they're like, that's Australian. But he had a pretty good, calm accent that wasn't Australian, in my opinion. I think if you want a taste of his range of like an American, try that. It's based off of, I think it was like California and Nevada or something. Like that's where it's based off of. So like Southwest.
Okay.
So I thought it was great. I think he was a great villain.
Listen, as long as when they put out a Star Fox trailer, they do a barrel roll.
I just want at the end, as it goes to black and shows the date of when it comes out, all you hear is do a barrel. Exactly. And it just fades out.
Well, let's go on to our next section. It is called This or That. One of the last episodes you were on, we talked about KidsWB cartoons.
Yes.
And actually on our Nostalgia Junkies Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, we put out 2 shorts that went viral this past few weeks. And one of them was the Jackie Chan Adventures TikTok. And actually, we put out a Static Shock one that was liked by Phil Lamar, the voice of Static Shock. So here's your choice. Jackie Chan Adventures or Static Shock?
Am I picking which one I prefer?
Yeah, you can only have one.
Static Shock.
Really?
I love Jackie Chan, man. I love Jackie. But Static Shock was different. Like, it had some deep messages in there, especially a kid of color growing up. Mm-hmm. It was something new. It was something people could relate to. it was also kind of just dope. This man just loaded on a saucer and controlled electricity. It was just basic, Jackie Chan, I don't own a shop or anything like that. I don't know
an antique China shop.
I don't have any of that stuff, but like I don't have any of the stuff they had, but Virgil had homework, I had homework. That's relatable. I think some of the villains were on there were pretty good, but I'm gonna have to go Static Shock, hands down. But I do love Jackie Chan, and I love Jackie Chan Adventures.
I will agree with you. I think out of the two shows, if I had to pick one to watch, it's going to be Static Shock. I love the superhero genre. And like you said, the show did a really good job tackling those issues that were difficult for kids, whether it was systemic racism or dealing with grief.
Yes.
Jackie Chan Adventures was just a good watch. It was always a fun time show, but I felt like it had motifs that were also captured in shows like Kim Possible.
Yeah, I feel like it was always, overcoming. That's what it was. They would gain one talisman, but something tragic would happen that they're always, one step forward, two steps back. That's what it always felt like.
So I got one more this or that for you. We're going back to 90s crushes.
All right.
Danielle Fishel, Topanga Lawrence from Boy Meets World, or Tiffany Thiessen, who was Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell. Do you need pictures?
Oh, I don't know who any of those are. Got it blocked?
There we go. Sorry.
Oh, I've seen her. Yep.
What? Dude, you've definitely seen both these.
I've definitely
women.
seen her. I know exactly who they are.
So, Danielle Fishel or Tiffany Thiessen?
Probably the first one, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that one. Topanga Lawrence, Danielle Fishel, always been a huge crush of mine since a kid watching Boy Meets World. I loved Tiffany Thiessen. Tiffany Thiessen was a crush as well. But I felt that, Danielle Fishel was just, there was more substance to her character in the show. They actually kind of let her be the brains and the beauty. Where while Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell did also have brains and beauty, it was definitely more of a, hey, look at me. And we have another character be the brains, which was Elizabeth Berkley's character, Jessie.
Yes.
Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode then. We were just talking about 90s TV shows. Let's listen to some 90s cartoons, buddy.
Love it. Let's do it, man. I love cartoons.
This is going back to one of the episodes that Brandon and I did last year where we listened to our 90s live action theme songs. We are now doing 90s cartoon theme songs.
Which I have a chance at. I think I could get some of these right.
Dude, Brandon destroyed me in the live action. I think the ending score was like 4-21.
Yo, Brandon's mega mind, bro. He has all the knowledge that we lost as a kid.
But let's go in this little competition. We'll see how many we get through today, and we'll save some for next time if we need to.
Perfect. Let's do this.
Let's do it. As soon as you know what it is, shout it out.
Gotcha.
Okay. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
The Simpsons.
Yep.
Okay. So, did you watch The Simpsons like growing up? Like, was that the show that you were allowed to watch in your house?
It was one of the few shows we were allowed to watch, which I'm surprised we were able to. Was not the biggest fan of it though. Bart was definitely annoying. I definitely think Lisa was the better sibling.
Oh, I agree. I remember because it would only be on at some like on Fox 61 at like 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or on Sundays. Because when we were kids, it was still like gaining its popularity in the 90s.
Yeah,
I remember sitting in the living room working on homework, and the theme song would come on, and I would just hear my mother yelling from the kitchen, "Change the channel." It was a show that we were not allowed to watch in our house.
Well, it was understandable,
Oh yeah. When you're 7 years old, it's not an appropriate show for a 7-year-old.
Agreed.
But like, I was even up through like I'd say like going into middle school, it was still something that my mom didn't want in the house. I definitely enjoyed the fact that I didn't watch it as a kid, because like now it's a show that when it comes on, for me it's a new episode.
Yeah,
like I've never seen some of these episodes, and I now am getting to like experience it as an adult for the first time.
Yeah, they feel like brand new episodes. Even the ones I think I remember, I don't remember it the same. Like the one I remember as clear as day that I always go back and watch and it changes. It's the one where Bart is he goes on a plane or he does like the Peace Corps or whatever.
I don't know because I never
And
seen
he falls
it.
in over someone, but it happens like the last 10 minutes of the episode.
Okay.
In the first part of the episodes, I have no idea what's going on.
I was able to convince my mom to bring me to the Simpsons movie as a kid, though.
The movie was good. I watched it the first time.
Yep.
Going to a Boy Scout camp trip.
Except my mom, like, my mom's a religious woman, and like she's cool, but I remember we went to go watch it, and all of a sudden, like the opening scenes, Bart's penis is just on the screen.
Yeah.
After that, Simpsons was definitely not allowed in the house. Like, I gave it one chance, and it was the one thing that had a Bart penis in it. So
the movie was amazing. I thought it was great.
I still love it.
I love it.
I mean, it's on Disney Plus. Like, it's not that bad. Ready for number 2?
Let's do it, man.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, Powerpuff Girls. I was trying to figure out what the that little like laser stuff going on. I was like,
yeah, dude, I love Powerpuff Girls so much. Like, actually, one of the last episodes you were on, we did the Cartoon Network stuff.
Yeah,
and we talked about Mojo Jojo, man. Dude, Mojo Jojo deserves so much better.
Yeah, now they have like a reboot of it, and now there's like a 4th Powerpuff Girl. You hear about that?
No.
There is a 4th Powerpuff Girl who's like a blonde or something. She was like evil at one, or she joined them for a bit, and then eventually she like left. If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure there is a 4th one. It made no sense. It was kind of like one of those things like when you get older and you look at how they, how they murdered that show, and you're like, what happened? Like you had the script, you just had to stick to it.
Well, like they also were going to do the live action Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
And Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to play Blossom. And then she pulled out. Dove Cameron was supposed to be Bubbles. She pulled out. And now there is no more Powerpuff Girls live action.
I kind of don't want to see a live action of Powerpuff Girls.
Listen, I'm with you. I don't know how they were going to do. It was supposed to be Mojo Jojo's son. So I don't know how they would do that in live action.
I don't know how you cast Mojo Jojo other than CGI. And I feel like that's a PR nightmare.
Okay, ready for number 3?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh,
Batman,
this is a Batman
series.
animated series.
Yeah, it is.
I still think Batman the animated series has by far the best artwork of any children's TV show. When I think of Batman, I think of that. The Batman animated series was so good, introduced so many new characters. I loved it.
It did. I mean, Batman the animated series also, wasn't that the kickstart for the whole DC animated universe?
Yeah.
Because we got Batman, then we had Superman.
Yep.
Then it was Justice League. Static Shock even was in the DC animated universe. The Batman tone was such a shift in the cartoon industry. Did you know that the Ninja Turtles cartoon actually ended up redesigning the whole way that the show was done after Batman the animated series?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that at all.
The way that it was done, they liked the darker tones to it and the fact that like it was a little grittier. So if you watch the 1989 cartoon, you can see where that tonal shift is, where they said, oh, hey, Batman is actually doing this. We should do that.
Oh. See, I had no idea that was even a concept. I definitely noticed the change. I didn't know where it came from, though.
Yeah, it's Batman the animated series, by far one of the top tier cartoons, just from the writing perspective. And we're not even talking about the voice acting yet. Like we could sit here for hours.
We could sit here for hours and talk about Batman the animated series. I love that.
So let's do number 4.
This is the
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs, yes. Also the people who live in the Warner Brothers towers.
Exactly. And also, dude, Pinky and the Brain was a part of this.
Oh.
We had I forgot that the guys that video that we use these from, they bleep out the name. Forgot about that. I was like, what is going on over there?
At one point I looked over and I'm like, is this a Hulu version? And like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Animaniacs was such a great cartoon series. It was kind of set up like Looney Tunes, where it had like the shorts.
Yep.
But it was I don't want to say it wasn't more slapstick. It was just like a goofier, right? I don't want to say like Looney Tunes is more sophisticated, but I felt like Animaniacs had a wider variety.
It felt more mature too. Like these things could happen. Whereas Looney Tunes was like, I'm going to blow you up with like 6
Acme
tons
Dynamite,
of like Acme Dynamite. And, you know, you're going to be just left with 2 eyeballs and a bill.
Okay, ready?
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 10.
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
God, I love Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo was so good. That Riz, yo, boy had that Riz.
Yeah. Oh, not only that is that, but the man, I'm pretty. I love Johnny Bravo. Dude, you and I have already talked about Johnny Bravo before on a previous podcast, but that is a show that I would love to see come back in some scope.
I think it's amazing.
It needs something. Want to go on?
Yeah. For Johnny Bravo, though, I will say this. I think if there was a time to bring it back, now would be the time. Now would be the time.
It's now. And it doesn't need to be live action. It doesn't need to be a 30-minute cartoon. I'm thinking just 5 to 15-minute shorts.
Yeah.
That's all it needs, man.
I love Johnny Bravo. Love that man.
Okay, here we go.
This is Arthur.
Dang it. I could see it. I could see the aardvark, like the original like book. And I'm like, oh.
So I actually can tell you why I instantly got this.
Okay.
So Susan has been crocheting, and I have a friend that also knits. And every time I hear the word knit, I think of that one scene where they, you know about that scene?
Possibly.
Where it's almost like a witch hunt kind of thing. This person was like knitting or something, and they put a big old K on Arthur's chest, and they put, you know, he's a knitter. And then he woke up and he was like, I'm not a knitter. And I was like, as a kid, you never seen that?
No.
Yo, it was literally the closest thing to them dropping the R word on PBS Kids, dude.
R word or the N word, man?
Oh, my bad. It was wild. So every time my friend's like, yo, I do some like knitting or whatever, I send them that clip because it's hilarious. And I'm like, yo, this is on PBS Kids, you know, free public television.
I can't. I have no comment, man. Okay, we ready?
Let's go to the next one.
Oh, Dexter's Laboratory.
Yes.
Oh. DD! Get out of my laboratory.
See, I wouldn't have gotten into this part. Like after 10 seconds went by, like it has that like that symphony in the background.
Yeah, dude, I watch way too many cartoons. It's like my life at this point.
Could you imagine how expensive that, you know, electric, water, and heating bill would be?
I mean, let's be real. Dexter's dad must be loaded.
I think I have a theory that Dexter's dad has a laboratory, which, you know, Dexter's laboratory offsets the cost of his dad's. I feel like his dad has something wild happening in that house. Because look at his wife.
Dude, I feel like we just need a whole episode on just cartoon moms.
I feel like we already know who's going to be the top 2.
Dexter's mom.
Mrs. Impossible.
Oh, really?
Or not Miss Incredible. Miss Incredible.
I was going to say, I'm thinking Kim Possible's mom. I'm like, Kim Possible's mom's good.
No, it's like Elastigirl, and then you can throw Shigo in there.
Oh, but dude, Shigo
bad.
You know, I just watched the Kim Possible Through Time like movie special when it's like future Shigo. She just got the touch of gray.
Yeah, Shigo could get it.
Okay, we ready? Doug.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how you got it that quick.
Dude, Nickelodeon kid, man.
Patty Mayonnaise, man.
Oh.
They used to hype her the hell up, bro.
She wasn't even that good, man.
But you know what? I think she was the girl like in everyone's like school where, you know, she was popular. She wasn't the baddest one, but you know, she cared. She had a heart of gold.
She was sweet. That was the thing. She was a nice girl that was just kind. She wasn't too bad. And you know what? She just gave people the time of day.
There's been a couple episodes though where like she was a bitch. Like she was just rude. Like, but like you're that important of a character when you talk to the bully and the bully just shuts up. Like,
dude, with Roger Klotz.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I would love the way she would put Roger Klotz in his place.
Why was what's his best friend Skeeter?
Skeeter.
Why was he blue? Why were they like? What universe was this? Was it like why were they all
the
different
neighbors
colors?
were purple? Like,
huh?
The neighbors were purple. The Dinks.
The Dinks.
The Dinks, man.
Hey, no, what?
Did you not know that their name was Dink?
No, I did not.
Dude, the Dinks. The Dinks. It's an
God.
acronym. It's an acronym.
What's it for?
Dual income, no kids.
Yo, fire name. Oh my God.
You didn't know that Doug's neighbors were the Dinks?
I didn't even know he had neighbors, bro.
Dude, remember the neighbor would always come over. The husband was always like, I got this new tech thing. And the wife was like, yes, like drinking the wine.
I thought it was just some random people like in the neighborhood. I didn't know they were neighbors.
No, those were the neighbors, man. The Dinks.
Wow.
Yeah. The
dual income, no kids.
Like, dude, we should go to Famous Neighbors at one point.
That'd be a good episode.
Okay, we ready? Oh, Captain Planet.
Yes.
Heart. Oh, planets. Oh, such a good show. I loved Captain Planet growing up.
It was so difficult to watch that too because you had to wake up like 5:30 in the morning to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it available at 5:30 in the morning?
I don't know, but like I used to deliver the Hartford Courant with my mom. And so we'd be up at like 2 in.the.morning folding papers and they all had to be delivered by 5. So we would deliver the papers, come home. We'd have like a bacon, egg, and cheese from McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd watch Captain Planet on Saturdays, man.
All I know is Captain Planet, like, I had to wake up so early to watch that and Zoids. And
Zoids.
Yo, Captain Planet had some villains, dude. Captain Planet was the one show where every time like someone would get captured, because of course you need all of them together to summon Captain Planet. As a kid, I always thought, why not just chop a finger off? You don't even need the kid. Just chop the finger off.
Have you watched the Don Cheadle Captain Planet specials on YouTube?
No.
You gotta watch them. It's
Don
basically
Cheadle?
like Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle,
War
Captain
Machine.
Is he Captain Planet?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle from Iron Man.
Yeah. He plays Captain Planet and he's like, it just him, like he's like tired
Lieutenant
of saving
Rose.
the world. And the only person he keeps alive is Mai Tai. And he goes, Mai Tai, bring me a mother Mai Tai.
He swears? Oh, you gotta send me this.
Dude, I'll send you the links.
You gotta send me this.
The Captain Planet Don Cheadle stuff is hysterical.
Oh, is it dub or?
No, it's live action. All I could think of when it came out was the kid that we went to high school with that would dress up as Jiraiya.
I actually saw him at Dave and Buster's.
Did you really?
Yeah, he served me a drink.
The reason I brought him up is I remember he was like, yo, I'm going to come and dress as Captain Planet. Dude painted himself blue for school.
As soon as you said that, I instantly remembered it. I'm like, there ain't no way I remember
And I'm like, dyed his hair green, painted his skin blue.
Committed.
He did not give a shit.
Went full send.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Let's go to the next cartoon before I say something too bad.
I'm going to hell.
Oh. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes.
Oh, that is a show that I absolutely love.
We all loved it, but damn, it fucked with our minds.
Dude, Courage the Cowardly Dog, that is like one show that actually gave me nightmares.
I would be afraid to go to sleep.
Dude, it's not even the content. It was just the animation style.
Yeah.
It was so off-putting, but in a good way.
I also liked how they had different animation styles as well. It wasn't always like, flat 2D or whatever like that. Once every often, they'll come out with a 3D or a claymated one. And you're like, yo, this is...
Yep.
I've never seen anything like this. I am scared.
It's not often I like mixed modes of animation. it bothers me. I don't know if it's like an OCD thing, but I feel like two shows that have done mixed modes well and for completely different reasons. Adventures of Gumball did mixed modes of animation very well just because that was their style.
Yep.
And Courage the Cowardly Dog from a disruptive point. Like the purpose of it was to be off-putting.
Yeah.
And it did it so well without making it impossible to watch.
Yes.
Here, we got like 3 more for today.
Let's do it, man. Recess.
Yeah. Wow. Right from the bell.
Bro, that Recess spell, man.
Dude, I love this show.
You want to know how I knew it was Recess? September 2009. We had, what was it? The Mole Day for MHS.
Yeah.
And came home that day. Watched TV. Went to school the next day. Came back. And the cable was shut off. My mom informed us she was no longer spending money on cable. We were an antenna family now. And I was like, what? I was like, yo, didn't I pay the cable bill last month? But regardless, she pulled it off. And multiple times when I came home from school at one point, that's all that would play.
It was a good show, though.
It was a very good show. And it is very accurate. Like when you see like the different cliques in the groups, and then you see like the preschoolers and stuff like that, those preschoolers, like it was a jungle. And it makes sense. Like if you never worked in a preschool or worked with, preschoolers, it's accurate. They're wild.
And I'll go even a step further. They also they portrayed the employees of the school accurately too.
Yeah.
Like they did a good job from the kids' perspective of making Principal Prickly and Miss Finster look like jerks. But when you got a chance to see like what they were actually doing behind the scenes, it wasn't them just being jerks. It was like, hey, this is what's going on.
Exactly.
Like Miss Finster was shipping back all the unused ice cream from the school year to buy new textbooks for the next school year. I'm like, that's like a legit thing that people would do.
Yeah.
Like that's something that should happen. Any unused food gets sold back and you buy supplies. As a kid, all you see is
They're
Miss
taking
Finster
away our
saying,
ice cream?
That's our ice cream. They paid for that. And it's like, no.
They took
You need
juice.
They took our juice.
They took our ice cream.
Let's go to the next one. Goof Troop. Always on the run.
Oh, hold on. Let me listen to this.
Best pal. Yeah. You don't remember the show?
1 second. This is fire.
Oh, it's such a great show.
Oh, Goof Troop.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, why does it sound like Max? Like all I kept thinking was Max. And I was like, sounds like something like from the Goofy movie or something like that.
Dude, I loved Goof Troop.
I didn't get to watch it too much. I only saw a couple episodes.
I just love the theme songs. I love when it goes down to the yeah.
Didn't Max have his own show?
I think that was it. I don't think there was.
I want to say there was like a spinoff where it was just Max, and that's the one I remember.
I don't remember. Like when he's older?
No, he was like a kid, and it was just like his after school antics.
I thought that was Goof Troop, like because there was the Goofy Shorts.
Yep.
And then there was Goof Troop, which was more about Max and PJ.
Maybe it is Goof Troops. I swear I thought there was one that had the word Max in it, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
But it was like Max. Like it was all Max and PJ, his friend.
Yeah.
So maybe it is Goof Troops.
Troop. Okay. We got one more for today.
All right.
That's what we got.
That'd be a good one.
Oh, Hey Arnold. Dude,
It's
I love
jazz, man.
Yeah, the fact that this was like a jazz just intro was so great. When Helga comes out and goes, "Move it, football head."
It was so good.
So good.
Yo, I never appreciated Triangle as much as Hey Arnold.
What was that? Oh, the triangle.
The little triangle in the background. Yo, they played the junk out of that triangle, man.
And you can just see that guy in the sound. You're like, Yeah. He's loving it.
Yo, he going in, hat backwards, eyes closed.
Like, I got one job. I'm gonna do it well. Just whack the triangle.
We need more cowbell.
Okay, Christopher Walken.
No, but I think Hey Arnold was great. I love the art style. I love the jazz, and I loved how it was like there was a community of kids, and I always wanted that baseball field they had, and like it was just a baseball field in the middle of like New York, kind of basically, and it was just a vibe. And then you have Hey Arnold's room, and his room. His room is the vibe. It's the vibe for the 90s.
Like that is what everybody wants. Everyone that grew up in the 90s wanted Arnold's bedroom. They wanted that access right to the roof in like downtown New York. His stereo system, his bed that he had. I mean, Arnold was killing it.
Bro, you know how much that room alone would go for nowadays?
More than my mortgage.
Bro, it would be insane. It's like, I'd say that would be worth about 4 or 5 G's right there.
That's true.
All glass, access to the roofs, skyline to New York.
I will say, Arnold or Hey Arnold was a show that I did not appreciate as a kid. It was
really
so as a little kid, because when we were little, we had Rugrats, we had Angry Beavers, we had Cat Dog.
Yep.
There was Hey Arnold, and like for me, I was much more into that goofy perspective, and Hey Arnold didn't fit that vibe. No. Hey Arnold and Doug were more of a serious,
very serious
tonality. Same in like, I don't know. I think Rocco's Modern Life, like dry humor, it wasn't something that was like, okay, I want goofy, crazy, like give me Animaniac stuff.
Yeah,
like I want that quality. As I got older into like 5th, 6th, 7th grade, that is where I started to appreciate Hey Arnold. Like, Hey Arnold would definitely be the show. Like, I'm going to come home from school. I got some stuff to do. That's the show that I want on in the background. Mainly because I just want to hear the triangle.
I will say this. I think Hey Arnold was a show that was definitely needed in the 90s for a lot of kids, especially inner city kids. Like, for example, you had them going to school. What was it? PSNY or NYPS or whatever. As a kid, I was like, what is this? Like, you don't just call it, like, Washington School or Nathan Hale School. No, they call it like, PSNY, and then like they gave it a number. As a kid, I would know the number. Nowadays, I don't remember it. But then as you get older, you're like, oh, in New York, they don't go by names of schools. They go by, public schools in New York, and then they put a number to it. And that's how they're recognized. Maybe they have a couple names here and there, but I'm pretty sure it's just numbers. But I love that little touch right there. How, they got shipped, from the buses. They had their bikes. It actually felt like I could blue skidoo in there, and I could live a normal life in there for at least a day.
It's a show that would not be able to be made today. It thrived off that relationship and friendships that, like, I'm not saying those friendships don't exist.
Yeah.
But it was based off of face-to-face interaction, and I don't think you can do that with the way that technology is. I
definitely agree. I think, there's also the movie where they introduced his parents too. I haven't seen that. Kind of don't want to see it because I don't want to ruin that childhood aspect of it. I respect that, hey, it's out there, but I don't need to see it.
Yep. But let's go into our next segment. We are going to do 90s trivia.
Yes, I'm excited about this one. Very excited.
Okay. Do you want to ask first or answer first?
I'll answer first.
Okay. So we got 3 questions that we're going to do today. I will ask you the question first.
Let's do it.
So what links these 3 clues together? Skids, Zubaz, Man-Prees.
What? Skids, Zubaz?
Zubaz.
Zubas?
Zubaz.
Zubaz.
And Man-Prees.
Like, are they pants?
Yeah, they're 3 types of pants from the 90s. That's the answer.
That's the answer.
That's the answer.
There was no way, bro.
Pants from the 90s. Skids, Zubaz, and Man-Prees.
What are skids?
All I can think of skid marks, dude.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking underwear,
Like-
bro.
Are they striped pants? No, just one stripe up the crack.
just. All right. I have one for you. I think you would really appreciate.
Okay.
Who is Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr., more commonly known as? Is he known as Eazy-E, Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, or Dr. Dre?
Oh God, you're expecting me to know 90s hip hop.
I saw this one and I was like, I have no idea.
Calvin Cortazar,
Broadus Jr.
Brodus Jr. Wait, is it Brodus or Brontus?
Broadus.
Brodus.
Broadus.
Brodus. I when you first said like Brontosaurus Jr., I'm like, that's a bitchin' name.
That's fire, bro. Fire.
Snoop Dogg.
You are correct.
Really?
It makes sense why we call him Snoop Dogg. I could not take that name seriously.
Or Snoop Lion, as he was formerly known as.
Oh yeah, that was a terrible one.
Okay, I got another one for you. What popular children's book series featured a bespectacled young lad wearing a distinct red and white striped shirt that became difficult to find on each page?
Where's Waldo, man?
Where's Waldo? Yeah.
I have one I really want to do, but I'm gonna save it towards the end because I feel like it's
Okay.
the best. But this one I feel like is right up your alley. What old school fortune telling classroom game used paper, a pencil, and a spiral to predict your future?
A paper, a pencil, and a spiral?
Yes.
Dude, all I could think of was cootie catchers. Paper, a pencil, and a spiral.
I can give you a little hint if you want.
Yeah, give me like I feel like I'm gonna be like, really? Like afterwards, but what's the hint?
I believe before you played, you had a setup a little bit on the paper, and there was a box.
Spin the pencil.
No.
I have no clue.
MASH.
Dude, I have never played MASH.
You never played MASH?
I've never played MASH. Jocelyn's told me about it all the time. We were FaceTiming with one of our friends who was actually playing MASH while we were on FaceTime, like wherever she was. Again, 30 years old,
Yeah.
playing MASH. I never played.
Bro, I want to play it so bad. You know what MASH stands for, right?
Isn't it like Mary? No, what is it?
Mansion, apartment, shack, house.
Okay.
And you would go in a spiral. You put like how many kids you had on the side. You pick like numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you would count you would go in a spiral. You would tell them to stop. You count the lines in the spiral, and you eliminated things from there.
I'm thinking of FMK over here.
It was really, really addicting in the 90s.
Well, we'll have to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never played, so.
Oh, we'll play it for sure.
Okay, I got one more clue for you for this episode. What did Lorena Bobbitt do to her husband John?
Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt.
I have no idea who Lorena Bobbitt is.
She did something very invasive to her husband and then chucked it out a window on a highway.
Record him?
Nope.
I could not imagine what you could do to someone then chuck it out of a window. I got to hear this.
She cut off his penis.
What?
Dude.
Let me see that card. Oh, wow.
Cut off his penis, drove down the highway, and chucked out the window off the freeway. They had to send like the search team to go find it and have it reattached. Dude went on to later do porn.
Wait, what?
With the reattached penis?
There ain't no.
I was listening to some podcast. It might have been one of Burt Kreischer's things.
Way.
And they were talking about it. And they were saying how he does porn.
My mind is actually pretty blown right now.
Yeah.
That's a comeback story, bro.
Yo, we've said sports so much on this podcast. What's the last question?
This whole episode is about to be like a bleep.
Yep.
Anyway.
This thing's gonna get flagged and taken down.
All right, so this one isn't a question. It's more of a challenge.
Okay.
Put these Jurassic Park dinosaurs in order from shortest to tallest. We have the T-Rex,
Okay.
the Bronchiosaurus, Triceratops, and the Velociraptor.
Velociraptor, Triceratops, T-Rex, Brachiosaurus.
You, my sir, are correct. I'm pretty sure I know someone from high school who would have gotten that perfectly correct.
Would he have walking down the hallways like a dinosaur?
Yeah.
We know the same person.
He don't add me on Facebook no more. I don't know why.
I don't even know if I'm friends with him on Facebook anymore.
Yeah. I don't know what I did.
Maybe he doesn't have Facebook.
No, he got Facebook, bro. Trust me. He got Facebook.
Oh, is he putting up his dinosaur?
He works with dinosaurs.
Oh. Wait, he works with dinosaurs?
Like, not living ones, but like animatronics and
Oh,
he
no
does tours. Shit like that.
Works with not living ones. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Works at Jurassic Park down the street, bro. Yeah, he works right over there, man.
Oh, bye. Oh my gosh. So I've been Alex. Make sure you're following us on all of our social medias at Nostalgia Junkies Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I'll see you later.
Peace.
That's all, folks. Thank you for listening to the Nostalgia Junkies podcast. Follow us on social media, subscribe to the podcast, and make sure to never miss an episode. Till the next episode.